Viewers, good evening. The mother of all mandates is loading. You're watching Times Now, India's election news headquarters. Zaka Jacob here with me. So is Swati Joshi, and this promises to be an exciting evening with a brilliant panel that we have here with you. Let's quickly introduce the panel. JVC Sriram, our poll strategist, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, Shekhar Iyer, Sawa Nakvi, Harish Mohammad Ibrahim, Ashwini Kumar Mishra, Mr. S. Balan, Niladri Bhattacharya, and Dr. Nikhil Prasoon of the BJP will be joining us. Without wasting any time, let's talk about the one state that has been the highlight of this election, which is West Bengal. The polling concludes in about 30 minutes from now. The first cut will be out on Times Now shortly. Let's start with you, Dr. Ranganathan. What do you make of the contest?
Slide into, landslide into, and open wide in one.
Okay, you're not revealing which state is the slide, which state is the landslide. But why do you say that? Why do you say there's a landslide in one, there is a slide in two?
Yeah, I think, well, I can reveal what I believe is going to be the case. I think Assam is going to have a landslide for the BJP, and the same would go for Bengal.
You think the BJP would get a landslide in Bengal? Yeah. Sabha, you disagree?
I think if the BJP gets a landslide in Bengal, then we have a new template for elections, and then we can just do logical discrepancy and send a lot of central troops. They sent as much CRPF, very near what they sent for the national election. Do it all. Then we could conduct.
No, what did you pick up on ground? Do you think the BJP will get a landslide in Bengal?
No, I don't.
You didn't get that sense.
If Anand is proven right, then that is a very, I would be very curious to understand that phenomenon.
Shekhar?
Well, Mamata will come back, but with a huge reduced number, and that is not going to do good for TMC in the years to come.
Okay. Niladri Bhattacharya just flown in from Kolkata. You can show our viewers your index finger. You have voted. You're a resident of Kolkata. Somebody zoom in on that, please. Yeah. We're not going to ask you who you voted for. I think that's a fairly easy guess. But you're not seeing this wave or this landslide. No. This landslide that Dr. Ranganathan
let's keep it for the fourth.
Only once.
Then Mr. Bhattacharya will reveal.
I think it all depends on who you voted for. That person will win. For sure.
So, but what is your sense? What is the ground situation?
Zaka, the BJP is breathing down the neck of TMC. There's no doubt about it. But whether they can convert it into a majority or a landslide is forget it. But whether they can convert it into a majority is a question we have to see on the 4th. Before that, it's very difficult to answer it. But they're fighting hard. Both of them are fighting hard. TMC is not willing to let an inch go, and the BJP is breathing down the neck of TMC.
What about other states? Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam, Mr. Balan?
See, Tamil Nadu DMK has a lot of edge over other groups. Kerala, I think, left has a edge. As far as Bengal is concerned, Modi and Didi has a landslide victory, not
Didi
Modi.
has a landslide. Mr. Harish?
Tamil Nadu, as we all predicted, the DMK will come again once again, but there is a tough fight which has been given by the Vijay factor.
So you agree Vijay has given a tough fight?
Of course, the ground report says that he should be garnering almost 8 to 12% of vote share comfortably.
Okay.
And there is no doubt about it.
Mr. Harish? Sorry, Mr.
Akhilesh.
Ashwani.
Sorry, Mr. Ashwini.
See, I think we are winning Kerala, we are winning Tamil Nadu, we are winning Assam.
Who's we?
As in Congress and its allies.
India Alliance.
India Alliance, we are winning. And even in Bengal, people are voting for change. But when we speak about change, I think TMC and BJP is pretty much same on the issue of law and order, on the issue of corruption. So people are voting for change. People are voting for the Congress.
People are voting for Congress in Bengal.
You'll see on the 4th.
Okay. Swati, we can look at the voter turnout numbers, staggering voter turnout numbers, both in the first phase, and I think we're on track for almost 90% in this phase as well.
Absolutely. You know what's interesting is that in almost every election, there comes a phase where a little bit of slump or dip in the voters' enthusiasm is reported for sure. Sometimes even weather decides whether they're going to step out in the first half or the second half. But look at these numbers. And every 2 hours that the numbers got updated, there was a surge. Till about 3 p.m., it's 78.68%, almost 80%. And we know that in phase 1, the total voter turnout was 93%. So everyone waiting to know if it's going to touch 90 by the time the final voter turnout is revealed. So as of now, till around 3 p.m., it stands at 78.68, almost 80%.
So what does that imply, Pranesh? I mean, we're all talking about historic turnout, record-breaking turnout, something that Bengal has not seen in the last 30, 40 years. If we are on course for another 90%.
TMC would have us believe that people are coming out in record numbers because they want to prove that they are still, voters, citizens, what have you. The BJP says this is an overwhelming mandate against the misrule of the TMC. Shekhar Iyer has framed the contest in Bengal as fear versus anger. Mr. Iyer, what do you think this high turnout, what do you attribute it to?
Well, this phase 2 is her phase, this is her stronghold. As we have been saying since morning, out of 142 seats, 123 are withdrawable already. And the M factor in all the M that we have discussed last 2 days, all are in favor of Mamata here. But at the same time, there are pockets like North 24 Parganas and parts of North Calcutta where Modi held his roadshow. Those are areas where people can muster courage and come out and vote. Because this is big in this election is people are worried about the post-poll scenario. What happens after the voting is done? Because there have been reprisals in Bengal. This we have seen in 21.
Very quickly, what has been the highlight of the election campaign for you in Bengal?
Well, the campaign is that Mamata has tried to shift her record of governance or non-governance to Prime Minister Modi, and she has repeated the same thing, Bengal pride, Bengal thing. But actually, she has nothing new to offer to the people of Bengal.
I think we've got a latest bite from her. She's just spoken right after casting her vote. Let's listen into what she had to say.
CRPF, anything on CRPF? Ma'am, violence is happening, ma'am. This is because of CRPF. Want to say on the post, ma'am? Anything you want to say, ma'am? This is because of CRPF.
Dr. Ranganathan, I mean, she's been saying this right from morning, in fact, right from the first phase, that the CRPF is indulging in violence. Sabha just said that if BJP wins Bengal, it's the central paramilitary template to win a state.
Elaborate on that, then Anand can come in. In fact, I'm told by sources, because some people are talking, that if the voter turnout is above a certain level, then definitely TMC is very comfortable. Secondly, some reporter on the ground should verify this. Apparently, the BJP does not even have booth agents in many of the spaces.
Absolutely correct.
So that is how are you. So therefore, what they have been given is a huge presence of central forces. The episode that went down with a particular IPS officer from Uttar Pradesh, which I think you ran in your bulletins, that was given to them by an ally of an opposition figure from Uttar Pradesh. And they've run with that, and that has also deliberately, the Hindi walas, the Sharmas and all are coming. That has also become a plank this morning. It's being distributed all over.
You would imagine that, if there is paramilitary forces, if there's extra security to ensure free and fair polls, that is a good thing, right?
Precisely. So, when my good friend Sabha says that, look, if it was going to be a landslide for BJP, then we would have to redraw the charts as far as, so much of CRPF, so security for. I think it is great. This should have happened 5 years ago. I don't mind a state or the country being garrisoned if the voter turnout is the highest ever. Now, you can have 3 lakh security forces, but if in their presence there's only 10% voting, then yes, it's a problem. People are scared to come out.
So if 90% people are coming out,
yes, that's great, isn't it?
That's a vindication of the fact that there are additional security forces.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. I believe a BJP spokesperson is joining.
Yeah, we have Dr. Nikhil Prasoon joining us, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Prasoon, the voting ends in some time. What is your sense?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to congratulate the people of West Bengal for having reposed their faith in democracy. And this time around, the BJP, the tsunami of BJP is going to sweep the state, and we are going to have a thumping win simply because of the fact that the persistent, the disenchantment that the populace of my beloved state has
Dr. Prasoon, I'll tell you what the charge is. The opposition is saying that at many places you did not even have enough workers who could have, worked as booth agents. So you took help from central security forces.
No, not at all. There has been a substantial improvement in the organizational structure. Look, in West Bengal, what happens, there is no normal anti-incumbency element out here to change the government. Normal anti-incumbency phenomena does not work like in other states. There has to be a tangible shift in the ideology, in the narrative, and even in the emotional inclinations. And all these factors have been attained this time around by the strong leadership and organizational structure of the BJP. We have been able to send the narrative amongst the masses. And there has been, the atrocities against women. There has been, almost 40 lakh people, they have to migrate. 30 lakh jobs have been lost. 20 lakhs, the pensioners and...
We'll come to the record of Mamata Banerjee or the lack of it in a second. But Swati, you have the comparison of, the 2021 figures and also phase 1 and phase 2 figures in terms of the number of people who...
Absolutely. This is just to give our viewers a sense of what happened in 2021 as far as phase 1 is concerned. The total voter turnout was 82.29%, and this time in 2026 it's at 93.19%. Now, the last time the highest voter turnout was reported in 2011, there was a Mamata tsunami, a TMC tsunami. Will it be BJP tsunami remains to be seen. 2021 phase 2, 82.29% was the voter turnout till 3 p.m. And as far as the latest 2026 numbers are concerned, it is 78.68%. So, yes, it's a little bit behind what happened in 2021 in the second phase, but looks like it will catch up and perhaps surpass that as well.
No, the interesting thing and the important thing to underline is this is on a lower base. So in 2021, you were 82% on some 7 crore voters. This time, you're 90% or closer to 90% on less than that, about 6 crore odd voters. Yeah.
That is where there's been a lot of confusion. I have not understood. So when you do this, are you basing it on the old voter thing, or are you factoring that so many names have got off the SIR?
Yeah, so that's what I said. It's on a lower base. It's a higher turnout on a lower base.
Okay.
The present Election Commission released data.
Electoral rolls?
Electoral roll data, that is for 2026.
Okay. So the figure is now, it's gone up to 92, you're saying in the first phase?
No.
In the first, 93% was the first phase. For the second phase, till about 3 p.m., it's 78.68%.
And that, if you look at the gross number of voters, more voters have voted in the phase 1 than they did in those 152 constituencies than they did 5 years ago.
So basically 92% of those who are still on the rolls.
Yes.
Correct.
Let's
the ones who are still on the rolls.
That was Zaka is saying on a lesser number.
Remains 1 crore voters are removed from the voter list.
About 90 lakhs. A lot of them are dead. The adjudicated or the non-adjudicated ones are roughly about 27 lakhs or so.
Followed is
Let me go across to our reporters as well. I believe we have
Rajesh joining us from Diamond Harbour, Ridhita from Bhawanipur, Shivam also in Bhawanipur. Bhawanipur is really, many people want to know the number of Bhawanipur first. JVC obviously is under pressure to constantly, feedback that he's getting, revise his numbers. He'll be with us very shortly. But Shivam, sum up the day for us. Phase 2 polling, high stakes battle, Mamata taking on Suvendu Adhikari.
Well, exactly, Pranesh, and the moments from the very starting of the day, this seemed like it is going to be a very prestigious prestigious constituency, because remember, both Suvendu Adhikari and Mamata Banerjee were going to each and every booth. Ironically, they were going to the booth to make sure that there is transparency in the voting system. But when we are asking them about their counterpart going there, they are saying that TMC is saying that Suvendu Adhikari is going to intimidate voters. Suvendu Adhikari is saying that Mamata Banerjee is going to intimidate the voters. However, we had a word with both of them, and both of them have a different version when it comes to the urgency of a security deployment. We saw almost a clash breaking out when Suvendu Adhikari went to the Harish Mukherjee area. There were protests against him. There were, the slogans of Jai Bangla, and that time baton charge was also happening. Additional force was brought there, and then things went under the control. So again, since the morning, throughout the Bhawanipur, we have seen huge crowd in each and every polling booth. We're still here. It's the polling is supposed to end, but still you see a lot of people on the roads. They're going to vote. They're coming out to vote. The energy is high, and again, so is the uncertainty about what will
spoke
be the
to Mamata Banerjee, asked her a question on violence today, and Mamata Banerjee blamed the CRPF and forces, said entire violence is happening because of BJP and forces. In fact, we can play that out.
I want to to say on the polls, ma'am? Anything you want to say, ma'am? CRPF, anything on CRPF? Ma'am, violence is happening, ma'am.
It's because of CRPF.
Want to say on the polls, ma'am? Anything you want to say, ma'am? CRPF, anything on CRPF? Ma'am, violence is happening, ma'am.
It's because of CRPF.
Let me also bring in Ridhita as well as Rajesh into this. You know, Calcutta seats have generally seen lower polling compared to some of the rural parts of Bengal. But this time, I believe, Ridhita, that even in the most urban parts of Kolkata city, there have been long queues. Anecdotally, there have been long queues of people, particularly women, who've come out and voted. What does that mean?
Well, absolutely, the first phase has seen a very impressive numbers, and right in the second phase also, till now we are seeing queues where people are lining up to go and cast their votes. Young voters have been seen in numbers today. Even the women voters margin has been increased at the time when the Trinamool Congress has been stating that this entire process of SIR is a team game of the BJP and the Election Commission against the women. It is an anti-Bengali and an anti-woman stand. At that exact point, we see a lot of women voters turning up today voting, and they said that they are voting for a better future, a better tomorrow, employment, because these are the concerns that they're keeping in head. This time also remember that the Home Minister Amit Shah, while he was launching the manifesto of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the women issue was a key pointer this time. So both the parties were seen for fighting over this issue of women security and safety along the sides of employment and other facilities that have been noticed in Bengal.
The irony here is, Niladri Bhattacharya, you know, what our reporters are picking up anecdotally, women they're speaking to are saying we want change, men are having to migrate, there are no opportunities here. But if you look at historically the data over the last 3 elections, women have been voting for Mamata Banerjee 70%.
Absolutely.
So has something changed? Are you not picking up what our reporters are picking up?
I don't think so, Zakka, because today morning, but it's a fact that women are queuing up in long lines. Today morning at 7:30 in my booth, there were a long line of, let's say, half a kilometer, and that full of women. And
so is it for Lakshmi Bandar or is it for Larki Behan?
That's a question which can't be answered. But they were saying that they have queued up from morning 5 o'clock onwards. But traditionally, women in Bengal have always supported Mamata Banerjee.
Yeah, which was 2021 data, 70 to 75%.
They have always supported. And if you assume also that some portion moves away because of the BJP giving this increasing of the Lakshmi Bandar by 3,000 to 3,000 rupees, I don't think so it will make a huge dent into the...
No, the other concern is also, and you've not addressed this enough, Dr. Ranganathan, this whole issue about women's safety. Yeah. Whether it was what happened with RG Kar, and let's be honest, I mean, I don't think the Mamata Banerjee government exactly covered itself in glory, the way they handled it, what happened around Sandesh Khali, all of those, there have been concerns and questions asked about women's safety, and she needs to answer. She's the incumbent.
Doubtless. You mentioned the RG Kar. What about Sandesh Khali? What about the Taliban-style whipping of women, by TMC leaders and supporters? That is there. But can I just little bit disagree with what Dada has said? I think in Bengal, if you look at, for example, the economic parameters, yes, there are some issues that need to be addressed, that haven't addressed. Flight of companies as a rate per all the registered companies is very high in Bengal compared to Maharashtra and Gujarat. So that's a problem. But otherwise, rate of unemployment is below the national average. If you look at other parameters, you look at the freebies that are being given, it's a race to the bottom as far as every party is concerned. So I think Bengalis are going to vote this time round on emotional issues.
So what is the overriding emotion?
The overriding emotion is anti-incumbency and lawlessness and ineffectual governance.
So he's basically saying the vote is against Mamata Banerjee. Maybe not personally against her, but certainly the system that she runs.
Can I just talk about the gender parameters? There's one thing visually, as a woman, when I first went to Bengal, I worked in a group there. It was the left rule. And there was no visible woman on the scene at all. So let's understand one thing, that whatever her shortcomings, and there was violence also in the left era, because they had to bring about land reforms and they did not rely on the bureaucrats to do it. There are various embedded historic reasons for why Bengal became violent. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that visually there was no... The thing about the Mamata regime is not only is she there are just women all over visually. and that does create a
She gives
connection.
the highest number of tickets to women.
Yes, she
No
does,
doubt about
and
it.
she's given more, and the highest chunk of women MPs, and they're visible MPs. They're not just wallflowers, they're not just daughters, and you know, they talk, they
But
say.
these issues of law and order against women, was it resonant on the ground or
I'm
not?
sure if RG Kar happened now, it would have had it would not be good, but it happened 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I just feel that there is a visual, emotional connection. Politics is so male dominated. In fact, the left is worse than even the right on that. Let me just say this. Left is worse than the right because in Kerala, they have put Shailaja to the side and given her an impossible seat. They could have, and they've gone. So the gender problem is there acute. And that is one way that Mamata has, at least, she just enrages the left.
Let me ask a more fundamental question before Swati gives us another data point, and that is that the election results will change the fate of not just government, but also the fate of India alliance. Look what happened. Rahul Gandhi campaigned against Mamata Banerjee. Arvind Kejriwal was campaigning for the DMK. DMK is in alliance with the Congress. Rahul Gandhi was slamming left in Kerala. So, Mr. Iyer?
Well, Rahul is looking ahead. in the sense,
looking ahead or gets ahead of
nothing to
himself?
look behind.
To a nice vacation.
No, is he looking ahead or gets ahead of himself?
He is looking at a time probably on some kind of a time machine into the future when DMK is finished, when Mamata is finished, then the Congress will rise.
It's amazing you didn't say that when the BJP is finished because clearly he's been waiting for that
he's
for a
also,
while.
I mean, of course,
He's helping the BJP
I mean, he has
gain
been saying that just as we got finished in the run-up to 2040, for which he blames the entire whole lot of congressmen.
Yeah.
Similarly, he thinks
The BJP
a rejuvenation is possible only these parties. That's why he's very upset with DMK also, despite...
They didn't campaign together.
Yeah, they didn't
Stalin
campaign together.
and Rahul Gandhi. But Swati, I think the big talking point, both in the run-up and I guess even on the day of the election, has been around SIR, particularly in Bengal. I remember meeting Mamata Banerjee 3 months ago. She had come with a whole group of people whose names had been deleted to Delhi. They she made them petitioners in the Supreme Court, so on and so forth. What does it tell you, particularly in this phase, what the SIR deletions could actually result on the ground?
Absolutely. So that's a big talking point on the impact of SIR and the deletions. And we're talking about 17 seats where the deletions are more than the victory margin in 2021. Of those 17 seats, 12 the TMC won. These are the constituencies, Ketugram, for example, where TMC's victory margin was 12,467 and votes that were deleted over 26,000. Then you have Nakashipara, TMC's victory margin over 21,000, votes deleted once again over 21,000. The difference is very less, if you say around 400. In Habra, TMC won, their victory margin was 3,652 and the votes deleted over 18,000. In Chapra, their victory margin was 12,124 and votes deleted over 17,000. There are other seats as well that the TMC has won. I think we should flip to the last page because there are 5 seats that the BJP also won where the deletions have been more than the victory margin.
Yes.
These are the seats that the BJP won, and look at the victory margin and deletions. Deletions more than victory margin. So will this upset the arithmetic, and for whom? That is a big talking point.
Small point here because I think there are about 15 lakh new voters that also have been added since the last election.
So is that correction or vote chori? Ashwini ji, ye kya hai?
You look at the amount of votes have been deleted, 15%, around 12% vote have been deleted in Bengal and across different states. What is this correction of votes? इतने सारे लोग एक साथ मर गए क्या? या इतने सारे लोग कहाँ कौन थे ये लोग जिनके वोट हटाए गए हैं? This is simply collusion of election commission and we have seen that. एक हमने recent अभी केरला में केस देखा था ना कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी
Supreme Court is also involved in this collusion.
ECI का स्टैम्प मिला था. इस ECI के नंबर पर
Supreme Court is also involved because they are overseeing
spoke about sir Rahul Gandhi, spoke about Rahul Gandhi. उसको टाइम मशीन नहीं बोलते, उसको foresight बोलते हैं सर, दूरदर्शिता, जिसको दिखता है कि हमको भविष्य में क्या करना चाहिए. The word is foresight for that. So Rahul Gandhi ji have
नहीं Rahul Gandhi ji तो ठीक है, but Dr. Ranganathan has a question. Supreme Court is also part of this so-called collusion.
Dr. Ranganathan, I don't think the Supreme Court is in collusion with it, but Supreme Court is definitely blind to it.
Oh,
definitely blind.
That's a big statement you're making.
Why I'm making it? Why I'm making it?
Because almost hour to hour, day-to-day hearings have been conducted.
I'm telling you reasons why I'm making it. The Supreme Court is the last protector of democracy. for 27 lakh voters deleted on a logical discrepancy basis.
Yes, that is the problem.
And you do not allow them to vote in this, and you make a public comment that no issues, we are open to seeing it, the larger picture, they may vote in the next election. You have disfranchised them in this election. Out of that, I am told 90% of the appeals which have been disposed of, they have come back to the rolls. First phase 368, second total 1498. So if the trend goes out of this 27 lakhs, let's assume a figure. Let's assume they come back. But what about collusion? What about the people who are the balance which is kept? If they
how do you know they were only your voter?
If they will come back, then where have their rights been protected by the Supreme Court?
No, there is a whole, it's a well chronicled thing that's happened. The problem, even people like Amartya Sen were missing. What was the logical discrepancy? If you want to just hear it, that if your mother was 15, or if you had over 5 siblings, then the computer flagged it dhad. Then if there was a spelling, if you were Abhi Kwande, a week with
if a lady got married and went to the surname,
then it was flagged. So
I don't think it is anybody's case that
same problem happened in my life as well. I mean, I had to figure out where her father used to stay in 2003 in some place in Lucknow. It was so difficult. My brother-in-laws did not have their vote now because of the complications.
There have been discrepancies. There's no denying that, but that is not to say that Ashwini Mishra's,
No, listen. The problem was, why was well-known, and I'm only giving you the story of well-known middle-class people who could go to social media and say our names are gone. The problem is it was traumatic for everyone. To produce those documents, to have to answer these questions, to have to leave your work, to have to travel there. We all know that from Delhi, workers have gone back. People, it was a traumatic exercise the way it was done here.
Ma'am, it's not the first time that the migrant workers have, left the place that they're working to go back to the, to the place where they vote. It happens in all elections.
They went back because they were scared of their voting rights going. Because ration comes, they think, what does a person think? They think ki ration chala jayega, welfare chala jayega, citizenship chala jayega. It goes across communities. So that is, how does a poor man feel? He wants to be, every documentation
but how much of that was
valuable.
also fear-mongering, that if you don't vote this time, you lose your basic rights, you lose your ration card, you lose your Aadhaar card, etc. People thought that, or people were told to think that. But Shekhar, here's the thing. For the last 6 months, Mamata Banerjee has made SIR a single big talking point in Bengal. But the numbers, there are only 44 seats out of 294 where the total number of deletions have exceeded the victory margins or the vote margins in those seats. Of those 44, 27 the TMC won. Even if TMC loses all of those 27, if you go by 2021 numbers, they'll still be in power. They still, the issue in Bengal, and this is the climb that the BJP has to make in Bengal, that the large proportion of seats that the BJP lost, they lost by very wide margins. They lost by more than 10% vote. It's a mountain to climb. And that's not going to get, suddenly rectified, or suddenly it's not going to turn on its head because of an SIR exercise.
Yeah, that's true. But, Mamata's worry, Trinamool's worry is that dead are gone from the list. And dead have been voting in Bengal. I mean, there have been several jokes where, kids used to turn up at the polling booth and ask, did my grandmother vote here? Then there is one joke which did the rounds. The polling officer would ask, why you don't stay in the same house? No, we are told she comes once in a 5 year and vote. What's her name? Then they look at, no, she has voted and gone. Because the removal of the dead, and everybody knows it. This goes to, you see, 3 things have happened which is upsetting Mamata. The stranglehold has got loosened. See, the dead would vote, that is the ghost voters are gone. Okay. And number 2, polling booths have been secured. And last in 2021 election, central forces were not even deployed. That is the reason why the wholesale transfer of officers, because they would not deploy. And this time question is being asked, where is the Bengal police? Where is the Bengal armed police? They are not there. Because Mamata ensured they were not deployed. And also the third thing, don't forget in 2021, we saw it in 16 also, the TMC goons were incited to attack the central forces so that there would be incidents like firing. I remember one incident where a 15-year-old boy was killed. That became a big issue. And the fact that despite all this, There is not a single instant where CRPF have not been geared and they had to open a fire, because that's the kind of incident she loves.
I mean, these are recorded facts. We've seen the violence that happened last time around, or the time around before that. The level of violence has definitely come down this time.
Last election in Sheetal, what Mr. Iyer is telling, it happened in Sheetal Kuchi, where the central forces opened fire. But this year, with the deployment of the central forces, we have not seen any violence. And whatever violence has been there has been very sporadic and rare.
So that's a good thing, right? You should welcome it.
Zaka is definitely a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. For democracy, it's a very good thing.
No, but the CM is going around saying from morning that CRPF is the one that's indulging in violence. And they're acting like agents of the BJP.
What the CM is trying to say is this. She is trying to say that since yesterday night onwards, all these CAPF forces have tried to block all the Trinamool leaders in their houses, including the mayor of Calcutta. That is where she was trying to say.
Okay. You're saying they prevented people from coming out, TMC leaders from coming out on polling day.
Yes, including the mayor of Calcutta. That is where she because the statement, what you're showing is the statement of morning 9 o'clock. That is
I think there is something wrong about what Mr. Bhattacharya... No, 1 minute.
There's a death of
He's voted there and come back here to the studio to discuss this, but he looks supremely underconfident, almost nervous. I don't know whether because the left person is sitting with you, or maybe you sense the sentiment on the ground. Kya hai, sir? Aap aise kyun bol? You should be saying we are coming back.
Congress is welcome deployment of central forces.
Fundamental question here. See, if the Supreme Court strikes down this constitution of SIR, what will happen to the election of Bengal at the outset? And the voter list is completely manipulated. It is run by the Gyanesh Kumar, who is none other than the BJP election morcha. That's how he behaves. Complete officials have been changed. It's an unfair election conducted by the Election Commission of India.
No, that's what the TMC is saying. That's their claim. But Swati, on the impact seats where this SIR factor, and again, one big theme, one big sort of rallying cry from the Home Minister, the Prime Minister has been this Guspetiyan. Where are these Guspetiyan?
Absolutely. So this is the Bangladesh factor, in other words, the Guspetiya plus appeasement factor that the BJP has been highlighting and going after the TMC for. So there are 44 assembly seats that are along the Bangladesh border. Of these 44, in 2021, TMC won 27 seats and the BJP secured 17 seats. Now, this is where the Guspetiya angle comes in, where the Prime Minister, the Home Minister have all said that Mamata Banerjee or TMC is rattled because their core vote bank will be impacted. We share a 4,096 kilometer border with Bangladesh, and of this 4,096 kilometer, over 2,000 is in the state of West Bengal. And then there's a lot of allegation on whether land has been given or not, a lot of back and forth face-off between BJP and TMC. 563 kilometer is the stretch that is yet to be fenced. All in all, this is the Guspetiya factor that the BJP says is the reason why TMC is so rattled.
Dr. Ranganathan?
Yeah, a couple of points. First on this, let's just go by the hard data. The UPA fenced more border than the NDA has. The UPA threw out more illegal Bangladeshis than the NDA has. But I want to talk about what Sabha said, and I think, yes, there is no solution to, for example, fear-mongering, which many people are doing, that people are going to Bengal to vote. Now, according to our Indian constitution and law, nobody can find out if an Indian has voted or not. So if you are not eligible to vote, or if you are in one of those unfortunate ones where SIR list, you still keep on getting your ration, you still keep on getting all the welfare, because nobody will ever know whether you voted or not.
Well,
so this en masse migration to thing is purely propaganda driven and purely driven by political parties to create...
No, you just heard Mr. Balan, he's saying that, we are almost in a totalitarian surveillance state. Now, Mr. Balan, you were saying things about Gyanesh Kumar, the CEC. Between Gyanesh Kumar and Rahul Gandhi, who do you trust more?
Rahul Gandhi.
You know what Rahul Gandhi says about Mr. Vijayan? He's corrupt.
No, that's the election strategy. See, comparing to them, see, Rahul Gandhi is a politician. Gyanesh Kumar is not a politician. He's an extra constitutional authority appointed by Nagpur.
Extra constitution.
How is he an extra constitutional authority? Sir, he's been appointed by...
Yes, that's it. Sir, concept is in violation of Representation of People's Act. It is in violation of the Constitution.
Is this the first time that SIR is happening, Mr. Balan?
No, the SIR, this is the first time SIR can be pressed into service any specific constituency, not all over. This is systematic. No, you see, Bengal, what I see, is a political capital of India. What Bengal thinks today, the India thinks tomorrow. If BJP comes to power in Bengal and trigger communal disharmony, it will affect Bangladesh.
He's right. Bengal has said goodbye to left.
Bengal.
No.
What's encouraging is the same slogans that were being used 30 years ago when
I think it would
left
help
was in
the
Bengal.
BJP leadership if they didn't mix up their metaphors, mix up the quotes of the great Bengalis of the past, if they didn't attribute, those kind of errors, if they didn't call Subhash Chandra Bose Subhash Da, if they didn't do these bloomers. All of them, the Bhadralok is full of.
Okay, we have the voter turnout till 5 p.m. and I think we can open this up on the wall. It's almost 90%. So 89.99. There's one more hour of voting till 6. So 89.99. I suspect this might actually go up better than what the first phase was. Swati.
So the first phase saw a voter turnout of 93%, bumper voting, and looks like we are headed that way till about 5 p.m. These are the official figures coming in. Voter turnout recorded at 89.99. Like you said, yes, we are touching 90%, but once again remains to be seen if we are going to surpass the 93%. All in all, bumper voting for sure.
No, so this has to be free and fair. If 9 out of 10 voters are coming out, surely they are unafraid to come out and vote.
As I said, I think one must congratulate the security forces because this time round, I think approximately the same number of the strength is the same as it was during the entire Lok Sabha elections. Correct. I think about 300,000, 3 lakh. And if the voters feel that they are not intimidated anymore, come out and vote, then congratulations are in order. I mean, I don't see the logic.
So Sabha, how does this increased voter turnout fit in with this whole fear mongering that your ration card will be taken away?
It's not fear mongering to imagine that most people are not sitting there with cell phones. Have you seen a poor worker navigate a KYC? I've written about these things. People struggle with the digitized age because many of our labor workers are not savvy. They try, but whatever it is. So this is fear of losing something which gives you an identity through which you can get ration, through which you imagine.
What does it mean? So the 90% turnout means that they are afraid.
So let me finish. People are going back to vote and more people are coming out to vote to ensure that their vote is registered and they are registered. Yeah. That is a big part of what
he's saying that this is an existential crisis.
If your vote has been registered. So people must know that if you have voted, it does not guarantee you ration because that's a separate card. I mean, this is just logic.
But people do think like that and we all know it. You can try and make a point here. We know, everybody here knows. If you have any experience of dealing with workers, you should know how people think.
Ma'am, it's okay for the worker to think. Why are mainstream political leaders, perpetuating that point,
I mean, you are aware that people were picked up in Delhi, Bangla speakers. You are aware that cases went to the Supreme Court. Nobody's perpetuating. I'm just offering you facts. People fled Noida. People fled parts of Gurgaon.
Ma'am, the facts are in black and white. The numbers on your screen. Let's look at the comparison quickly.
All right. So, since we have the latest, let's do a quick comparison of what the phase 2 voter turnout was in 2021. And at the moment, it stands at 89.99%. Let's take the comparison graphics. Here it is on the big screen. In 2021, it was 82.29% and till 5 p.m. 2026, 89.99%. So all in all, a festival of democracy being celebrated by the voters. But Mamata Banerjee has said that democracy is under attack.
So what this essentially means, and I want to once again underline, this is on a lower base. Fewer electors were present in 2026 compared to 2021. But despite that, the fact is, if at 5 p.m. it's already 7% higher than 2021, by 6 p.m. when voting closes, I suspect it will be 10% more, which means, and I want to get Dr. Prasoon also into this, which means for every 10 voters who voted in 2021, there is an extra voter who's voting in actual count. Forget about turnout. In actual count, okay, we don't have Dr. Prasoon, but Sabha, that's what it means. One extra voter has been added for every 10 voters.
The way you've described it tells the story. You've said it. We have less voters, but we have more voting among those who are still voting, right?
Yes.
Naturally, voters are being cut off. If you heard here that, half the studios are about to go, in Noida, just hypothetically, the people will go rushing and try and say, hamari naukri hai, we are there. That is what is happening, simple, you know.
I'm sorry, we don't have less voters. We just have less bogus voters. And we have 15...
There are some...
One second, let me finish. We have 15 lakh more voters who've been added above 18.
Both those things are
So it is a fallacy to say that we have less voters and amongst those people are voting. That's mathematically wrong.
No, less electors. In the names in the electoral rolls, Dr. Bhattacharya, the names in the electoral rolls is lesser.
Bogus voters. What do you mean by bogus voters?
No, people who are dead, people who moved away, people who whose names are up multiple times. That's a fact. I mean,
there are people who are alive who have come out.
Bogus voters. What is this bogus?
No. What about people who died, people who migrated, people whose vote is not in Bengal?
Objection. For using the language,
there's no case.
It's not just dead. No, one second. Look. Let's have a civilized conversation here. It includes those who are dead. It includes people who migrated. It includes people who have voted in two different places, where you were born and where you're working. The attempt of the SIR exercise was to clean that up. Dr. Prasoon, but here's the thing, Dr. Prasoon, you know, for a very long time, TMC has been, their contention is that this SIR exercise was to benefit you. Now, you please explain to our viewers and to the panelists here why you believe that's not the case.
After SIR 24 lakhs voter, this time around 24 lakhs more voter have voted in the first phase as compared to 2021.
Correct.
Despite those deletions, this is number one. And TMC has been harping that only minority votes have been cut, and at the same time they are saying that Matua votes have also been deleted. So they have got the self-contradictory postures with regarding this. So this is substantiative of the fact that SIR has remained, community and religion neutral to that extent. This is number two. Number three, all those absent, shifted, deleted, and dead voters, they have been removed out, struck off the rolls. And the Trinamool used to have a gain of 3 to 4% of votes out of those, because they would bring those, dead souls from the heaven every 5 years, and they would indulging them in voting, and again they would be sent back to the heaven.
Okay.
So this practice has been, this time around has not been there on the ground.
It's called the divine vote.
Yeah, those divine votes.
You are literally telling that.
I have a question for him.
Telling that 2024 election was won on the basis of 10% bogus voters.
They are choosing their voters.
The BJP gone from 3 to 179.
So 2024 election was won on 10% bogus voter in the country, where BJP got total what? 18 crore total votes in a population of 140 crore people.
Ashwini ji,
उसका 10% bogus voter 14 crore voter होता है. What are we talking about?
1 minute.
No, then we have to take the point.
19-20 करोड़ बीजेपी को टोटल वोट मिला है. 14 करोड़ बोगस वोटर बोल रहे हैं आप. और आप बोल रहे हैं मोदी जी हमारे प्रधानमंत्री हैं.
सुन लीजिए, एक छोटा सा सवाल है, ये बताइए, आप कह रहे हैं कि ये जो भी है बोगस वोटर्स हैं, बीजेपी के वोटर्स.
आनंद said that.
नहीं आपने,
हम बोगस वोटर नहीं बोल रहे हैं, हम बोल रहे हैं जेन्युइन वोटर थे, आपने काट दिए. हम बोल रहे हैं जेन्युइन वोटर थे, आपने वोट काट दिए.
No sir, there's one question that hasn't been answered. Despite the deletions, if the TMC manages to hold on to Bengal, what will they call it? Will they congratulate the CEC, the Election Commission? Mr. Bhattacharya?
They will congratulate the people.
And if you lose...
Despite an unlevel playing field, the people chose.
Definitely, the people chose.
And if you lose...
In fact, they may have created...
If we lose, then it's the people's verdict.
But I think we're getting some breaking news. We can go to that as well. I think something to do with security personnel. Yes.
This is about the high security deployment after polling. This is what the Home Minister said. Now, the breaking input coming in is that 700 companies to stay till further orders. This is what the Home Minister said, कि 2 महीने बाद भी 60 दिन तक भी deployment रहेगी. 700 CAPF companies will stay till they get further orders to move. So 700 companies will stay in West Bengal. This is what the Home Minister had also said. 2 महीने तक, 60 दिन तक चुनाव के बाद भी.
Mr. Puducherry, we know what happened after the polls and before the results came out in 2021. No one wants a repeat of that situation.
The Home Minister wanted militarize the Bengal. Like how they militarized
Let Mr. Puducherry respond to this.
Zakasi, it's very clear. If the assembly, the tenure of the legislature is there till 7th.
Yes.
So the government has to be formed before 7th.
Yes.
If it is a TMC government, these people will go away. If it is a BJP government, it does not matter who stays. It's very simple.
But this is because of what happened last time.
There's another situation. What if the TMC comes down drastically? Why have you transferred a governor whose matters went up to the Supreme Court. He was seriously challenged, the Tamil Nadu guy, on legally. The matter was there, then there was a presidential reference. I'm talking about Ravi.
There have been allegations
and then he was
government...
put to Bengal. There is some formula there in case. But even to do that, the BJP has to...
There has been allegations in this election
there is a well-documented case of Bengal seeing lot of post-poll violence.
Correct.
Reprisal violence. Houses have been attacked, homes have been set on fire, women have been raped. And this is to give a message that they will remain there until further orders. Because there is no other thing, because this is total comes to... If you say 700 companies and each company is about 135,
Mr. Balan says
it's about
militarized elections. Sir, you have a
you
have problem with the military, but you're celebrating the Maoists. Less said the better about your track
that's
record.
a separate subject.
How is it a separate subject?
Maoists are protecting the environment.
And environment by killing people.
The tribes who are Maoist, are there the mafias or smugglers? That's an ideology. Why
what does the
mix it
military
here?
do, sir? The paramilitary, the central forces, what do they do?
See,
they pollute the
then
environment.
you feel police in Bengal are unfit? The reserved police force in Bengal are unfit? Are they not fit to maintain
law and order? If that was the case, why in 2021, sir, why in 2021 did we have such mass violence? Mr. Bhattacharya knows this.
Zaka, in India, we have around around 5.5 lakhs of CAPF.
CAPF, correct.
Out of which, if you take the calculation, more than half is stationed in Bengal today. So what does and that is what the CM has been saying, that it is a militarized election. They're trying...
I'll tell you what was the necessity.
Prevented from intimidating voters.
No, I'm saying
the CRPF people... No, one more thing. You see, we have been talking, half story.
See,
why did the CRPF officers who were poll observers, why did they go to that mayor of Howrah and the other person?
Because
they had gone,
there are 5 CRPF in this
were
studio right now,
people.
would we be intimidated?
No, Dr.
Why you be intimidated?
The problem with CAPF
understand.
is that if the CAPF was doing only its job, there would have been no problem.
So you are alleging CRPF is not
what I'm saying, please listen to me.
That's a different matter.
What I'm saying is this, why will the allegations come? That the BJP is trying to use the CAPF
there is currently
to intimidate voters.
The TMC is putting out a story that an 81-year-old man has been killed by the CAPF.
Okay, let's look at I think Mamata Banerjee speaking. Let's listen in.
সব জায়গায় স্লো করছে তাতে কিছু যায় আসে না আসলে ওদের তো কেউ নেই ভোটার তো নেই ওই কেন্দ্রীয় বাহিনীকে দিয়ে রিক করা ধান্দা আর কেন্দ্রীয় বাহিনীর উপর ডিপেন্ড করেই এজেন্টের কাজ করছে দেখো না আমি এখনো কালেক্ট করতে পারিনি অনেকগুলো জায়গায় সিআরপিএফ খুবই গন্ডগোল করেছে আমাদের ছেলেদের খুবই মারধর করেছে তা সত্ত্বেও আমরা আশাবাদী যে 200 তো আমরা ক্রস করব সংখ্যাটা কোথায় দাঁড়াবে সেটা মানুষ ঠিক করবে সিআরপিএফ এর লাঠিতে ম্যাডাম অনেক মারা গেছে বলেছে
See what are the final figures? More than 200.
She's saying CAPF is doing it everywhere.
Yeah. Swati, very quickly, in terms of the number of instances. All right, we're getting live shots again. All right, there's still some sort of scuffle. We don't know where in Bengal this is happening, but clearly there is some pushing and shoving. You can see people in riot gear, police officers in riot gear also there, trying to separate from what it seems two sets of people. All right, this is coming from North 24 Parganas.
Swati.
Interesting. Since you say that these visuals are coming in from North 24 Parganas, take a look at what happened in the last election, 2021. Number of violent incidents reported 50, and that too in North 24 Parganas. Number of people killed in those violent incidents, 5. Then Kolkata, 33 incidents of violence were reported in 2021, 2 people killed. South 24 Parganas, 24 incidents of violence reported and 3 people were killed. So this is from 2021, and unfortunately this has been pretty much part of the election history in the state of West Bengal, even when it was a left versus TMC fight in the state of West Bengal. The reason why massive deployment is in place.
So the only good...
That is because Bengal has had a history where that the dominant political party controls the system.
Yeah.
That happened during left period, that has happened under Mamata also. That is why this whole thing has been changed this time.
Okay, we'll take a break in about 30 minutes. A little over 30 minutes is when the Election Commission allows us to put out the first exit poll numbers. JVC Sriram will also be joining us on the other side of this break. We've talked Bengal at length. We'll also talk about what the Satta Bazaar is predicting. That and more right on the other side. Stay tuned to Times Now special exit poll coverage.